so funny. I was talking to this guy yesterday from Okcupid. He was like one of the craziest, most confrontational people I've ever spoken to. And it was like, I gave him a chance. It was like, I was never going to date this guy. This guy was bisexual. And then I was asking, and he kept telling me about how he doesn't want to be in a relationship with men, but he likes feminine men. And then he's like, oh, and I'm like, do you date trans women? And then he's like, yes, I like trans women. And then I'm like, okay, so his idea of women or trans women, because I'm trying to figure out, like, I talked to him, he has a feminine voice and he's like, he's straight, he's alpha, he's like one of those guys that like screams and yells if you disagree with him or anything, even if you pull up the proof and explain it to him, and then he's like, no, he's right. And then I'm like, okay, let's just agree to disagree. I'm like, I'm letting it go. I just want to stop this. And it was like, I was trying to be nice not to hang up on him, and then like he goes off on me, and then I just checked my phone, and then he sent me a text. It was like he liked me. I click on everybody. He liked me, and he responded, and I'm like, okay, let's talk to this man because I'm just curious. And then he just goes off on me in this text, calling me names and all kind of stuff. And then I checked my OkCupid, and he blocked me. And it was like, I didn't know all this happened. And it's like, okay. But it was like so weird, and it was like scary because it's like, I don't know this guy, and he's claiming he owns a hotel. And it was like, I already knew you claimed to own a hotel in San Francisco. You're lying, most likely, because he did not give that unless it was like something that was like inherited, passed down, something that was like super cheap because it was like super run down or something. But like a decent hotel, even like a bad hotel in San Francisco, goes for well over $1 million. And it was just like, this guy was weird. You know, when you talk to somebody and then they just like freak out screaming, like those Karen videos on YouTube? This guy was like that, but worse. And then he's saying, because he said he moved around the country, and then he tried to date these women, and then like these women, they didn't like him and things didn't work out, and he had nothing but bad things to say. It's like my exes, like some of my exes I have bad things to say about, some of them I have great things to say about, some of them I have stories, they're funny, but there's really no hate between anybody. And there's like some people that aren't that great, and it's like some of my exes, we see each other, they greet me with a hug and a kiss. Others I'm not so fond of because what did they do? But this guy, he went off on me, and it was like, okay, this is like really weird. Cause like when I asked him, cause I saw like some pictures and stuff, I'm like, are you a cross dresser? Cause I'm just wondering. And cause he's like talking about sucking dick all the time and stuff, and it was like, I'm just wondering. And because it's like you hear about stuff, and I'm not saying everybody does this, but it's San Francisco. There are glory holes everywhere. People go to the Castro glory holes. People are hooking up. You like read some of the gay websites, and you hear all this stuff. So I'm like, are you doing this? And then you say you own a hotel, and it's like, yeah, Grinder is big there. And he's talking about he's buying all this stuff, because then he's like, he's dating men, he's dating trans women and everything. But then he's like, trans women are men and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, this guy's crazy. It's like, I don't really care about all that, but the fact that you're confrontational, not friendly, you have nothing nice to say about anybody. And then for some reason, we were talking about some guy from Brazil he dated who was his neighbor with the big dick. And we started talking about Brazil, and I was like, Brazil has the largest black population outside of Africa. Because one thing said one thing, but then I was explaining to him why they say Brazil has the largest black population. Because they say like 45% of the country is mixed, and like 10% are like full blood black. But then I was explaining, like, there's that one drop rule. If you look black, if you have black ancestry, you are black to some people. Because it's like, I might have a white grandparent, I might have a white parent. If I look black, people are going to be like, oh, that's that black girl. And that's just how society goes. And it's like, people might identify as mixed in Brazil, but it was like, when was the last time you had a white relative, like 100 years ago or so? But you look mixed, and you're mixing with other people that look mixed, so you're gonna identify as mixed, even if you can't name back to a white relative or native or whatever relative. And I was explaining that to him, and then he's like, no, and he's getting upset. And like, most of the people I know from Brazil are brown to some extent, or have some feature of mixedness or blackness. And he's like freaking out, yelling at me and getting mad at me, saying I can't take it when people say stuff. And it's like, I know a bunch of people from Brazil, and pretty much all the people I know from Brazil are brown. And he's going off on me, and it's like all this, and it's like, oh, I just have to go. And then he goes, and it was just like, okay, this is scary. It's like, I feel scared for my safety. And I just had a conversation with this man, and then like he sends me, and then I keeps trying to send me dick pics, and I'm like, okay, why? And I'm like, what kind of pictures do you want to send me? And like, this was like before he sent me the pictures, and I didn't know. And then he sends me pictures, and then they're like, oh, okay, because his pictures on his profile weren't good. And then the pictures he sent me looked like some pictures he stole off Google. And he kept trying to get me to send pictures, and I'm like, no. Because when somebody's like, oh, can you send pictures? It's like, no. Because it's like, I try to get to be friendly with bi men, but it's like, yeah, that never goes well. And then he's claiming he doesn't know areas of San Francisco he doesn't go and stuff, because it's like, he's saying he is, but he's saying he's not. And then he's like, gay people should be in jail. I'm like, what the hell? It's like, I love to go there. I love the gay men. They're nice. They're funny. You have fun. It's like one of the best places in San Francisco. It's just not a place you take children. And he's like getting upset with me, because it's like he's acting like I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat, I don't care, but he's acting like one of those old men Republicans that you hear about, where they're sleeping with young guys, but then they're like anti-gay this, anti-gay that, and then they're gay. And he's like that, and it was like, okay, weird. It's like, I couldn't even be friends with this guy because he's just so horrible. And then I got the message, and I'm like, okay, but yeah, it was interesting. And another horror story from Okcupid. And then he told me that I must be crazy and on disability and all this stuff, and I'm off my meds. And it's like, okay, this man is sending naked pictures that are like basically attached together like he stole them off Google, and doing all this stuff. And I'm just saying that Brazil's population is mainly black. And it was like, you liked me, but you want to call me fat and ugly and all this other stuff. And it's like, my profile says I liked everybody, pretty much, unless somebody stood out to me. And it was like, I didn't know who the hell he was. And it was like, okay, this person responded, I'll be nice. Yeah, but that went bad. If you like, watch and subscribe. Bye. For more of my horror stories on dating apps. And I'm trying this new thing out where I'm trying alternative dating apps and seeing what happens and what responses I get. Because you get some of like the craziest responses from shit. But if you like, watch and subscribe. Bye.